Cruisin the neighborhood, rolling out from the town of Mendocino on a slow coastal afternoon. The air had that soft July weight to it, the kind that settles over the headlands and makes the ocean look like brushed steel. South of town, the road slips past Damme. The beach stretched out in its quiet crescent. Kayakers ease into the cove, families wandering the driftwood line. Just inland from there, the campground sits deep under the redwoods, Fern Canyon running cool and green even on warm days. A minute later, you drift through Little River. A blink and you miss a town with a market, a gas station, a couple of inns, and that familiar bend where the ocean suddenly opens up again. It's small, but it anchors the coast in its own quiet way. I turned left onto Little River Airport Road, that spur tucked into the trees. Yes, there is an airport out there, and it's bigger than most folks expect. A long runway, clean pavement, hangars hidden in the forest, charter flights come and go, medevac helicopters drop in when needed, remote, quiet, and fully capable. Little River Airport sits off this road, tucked behind the timberline. It was built in the early 1940s as part of a network of coastal emergency landing fields during World War II. The military needed places where patrol aircraft could drop in quickly if fog rolled in or engines acted up, and this ridge above Little River offered the right terrain. After the war, the site transitioned into county hands and became a public airfield. Through the 1950s and 60s, it supported Forest Service flights, coastal survey work, and small private aircraft. In the 1970s, it saw upgrades to the runway and lighting, making it one of the more reliable small airports on the North Coast. Today, it's still used for general aviation, charter hops, and emergency operations, a quiet piece of wartime infrastructure that settled into civilian life and never left. Turning off Highway 1, the road slips inland. Trees on both sides, several bends, nothing too dramatic, just that quiet stretch heading towards the Albion Fire Department barbecue. But it brought back memories. I used to drive the Mendocino Stage transportation bus out here. Simple route, airport to Mendocino, back and forth. Planes would come in. I'd pull up, load whoever needed a ride, and head out. Straightforward work. Most days it was small private planes. Sometimes a small jet from the city would drop in. Folks flying up for lunch in Mendocino, then heading right back to the city. They knew exactly what they were doing. Quick trip, no confusion. Every once in a while, a celebrity stepped off a plane. Nothing flashy, just someone you recognized from somewhere. I don't remember who anymore. That was 30 years ago, but it made the day a little more interesting. Driving this stretch now, it's the same as it was then. Quiet road, trees, and that steady approach towards the airport. Headed to the barbecue, but by the time I reached the top, the parking lot was already packed tight. They were sending cars back down the hill towards the woods, the senior living community tucked into the redwoods, for overflow parking and a shuttle. Turning around was a task in itself. Cars coming out of the parking area that hadn't found a place to park. Cars coming in that were trying to turn around.
Yep. We are out of parking, so we have to park in the woods and we have a shuttle.
Okay, thank you. Cars coming up and down Airport Road trying to get in. I finally got out and headed south. Down in the woods, it was backed up and chaotic. Cars stacked, people circling, no real flow. I sat for a minute, watching the whole thing, and decided the fight wasn't worth it. I turned around, let the trees close in again, and headed back to Fort Bragg. A beer at overtime was the right kind of ending. Simple, calm, and exactly enough. So that's how it went. I'm 0 for 3 on this year's barbecues. Not exactly the record you brag about. There's one more shot in Westport, and I've got to make that one. No excuses left. Thanks for riding along. Stick around, subscribe for free by clicking on my picture at the end of the video. Then we'll see if I can finally hit one.